Hi, this is Strado, and welcome to the third video in my series of Shadow Priest Mythic mod review commentary kill video things for Mana Forge Omega. This time it's going to be Soulbinder Naazindhri. On this fight, once again, you can play either hero talent. I played Archon on our first kill because I didn't have Foresight yet, and at that point that means Archon is better. Now, either is fine. Archon is probably better at dealing with the ads, but Voidweaver should do slightly more boss damage because you can leverage the debuff on the ads a bit better. Either way, you're playing, like this season, it doesn't really matter anyway. You're playing Shadow Crash everywhere, so you're just playing something with Shadow Crash. Most likely the full single target, not whatever Mythic Plus slightly higher AoE variant. On the class side, nothing special. You don't need anything. Phantasm might be able to remove the slow from the orbs if you get hit, but also just don't get hit. Then you have the Voidweaver version, which again, similar idea, just the single targety one, and nothing special on the class side. For trinkets, unused trinkets are probably pretty good here. 2-minute unused specifically, because that lines up with the ad wave spawns, the big ones. So having damage there to just get them off the map is good. But outside of that, nothing special to say really. So, let's get into the fight. For defensives, you just press them as you need them, mainly for the knockbacks and when the big ad waves spawn. First thing that's going to happen is that the boss spawns the ads in the cages. You can't do anything to them yet. Then on Mythic, the change is that the ball debuffs here that people get, you need to hit the cages with those to make them vulnerable. The best way to do it is just to have one person stand in each of them, like directly inside, because then all the balls get eaten. Then you have the other big lines, which break out the actual ads, which shoot out a ball. Don't get hit by that ball or you will stop the ad from being broken out. And then we get to a thing that I didn't think about as we were doing the fight, but it's a boss DPS increase for Shadow to hit the ads. Nobody's going to let you leverage that very much. They're all going to pad their asses off. But in theory, it is correct for Shadow to hit those to make the boss take more damage, because the ads take 200% increased damage, which means with the Psychic Link values we have right now, you're doing 120% to the boss instead of just 100. So you're gaining 20% damage on the boss by hitting the ads. On lower difficulties, you can abuse a bug with Archon, where if you get hit by the balls, you get a slow, which also has a dot component, but on lower difficulty it doesn't really matter. This slow, for whatever reason, counts for sustained potency's CC pausing thing. So if you get hit by, I think it's 3 balls, you get the maximum 20-second extension. So that's great. Don't do that on Mythic though, because on Mythic, the small floaty balls, they still slow you, you still get the pause, but they hurt a lot, and they give you a 25% haste debuff, which means it's not actually worth doing. It might technically be worth it if it gets you an extension, where you otherwise wouldn't get one, but that seems very niche and unlikely. You can see here at 2 minutes, basically exactly, the big ad wave spawns. You want to make sure you have one Shadow Crash for the initial set that are just like nearby, then hold the other one until everything is in. You can see I missed one Phase Blade, which is in theory the main target, so that's unfortunate. And for the same reason, you should, in theory, be hitting the Phase Blades directly rather than the boss, but I'm slightly lazy, so I just hit the boss. Thing with the ads in the cages as well is that you can pre-Shadow Crash before the balls come out, just to have dots up immediately. It's at like 1 on the cast, basically. If you press it at that point, then it should hit by the time the ads come out. You can try to pre-position a bit next to one of the cages in case you get the beam with the ball. but it's not that far to run, so it doesn't really matter. And then you have the knocks, which are the big change on Mythic, I guess. You need to actually get knocked the same way as the rest of the raid because you drop these puddles. So position for that. Make sure you have some instants for it. Maybe press a defensive. Doesn't hurt that much, but might as well. And here you can see I go for a marathon just for no reason. Go into the cage. My balls all got eaten except for one. And then they free the ads. I shadow crash very late. And then I continue hitting the boss because I don't read tooltips. And then it's towards another ad set. Towards the middle. You can see once again, cooldowns are coming up in like 10 seconds or whatever. The remaining ads come out in 25. So as Shadow, the correct play is probably just send on CD. Depends a bit on kill time, but it probably is just because our CDs last into that ad wave anyway. And you don't want to lose cast stuff, especially Halo and Mindbender, which are the most likely one to have a cast knocked out of the fight duration if you delay them. Here you can see I'm just sitting on them, making sure I have them for the ad wave, because that's the only thing that was, in theory, able to wipe us, really. So I crash, hit most of the people, go into CDs, last guy comes in, and I should be throwing a crash to catch whatever remaining ads were up. There we go. And then there's another knock coming up to the next set of cages, where I just use the opportunity to get my Void Torrent on cooldown and use the Void Volley as part of the movement GCDs I have. And then because I'm bad, I put an extra GCD in between my Void Bolts. You can see here again, PI 115, remaining ads 20 seconds after that roughly. So 2 minutes just line up really nicely. I pre-positioned a bit for these, but doesn't matter that much, as I said, because you have a lot of time to get in position. Somebody ate the ball by being in between the boss and the cage, so that one didn't get freed, meaning it's going to join the big gang later. Here, because I'm dumb, I start a Mind Flay while I'm in the puddle and have to move and cancel it. Which didn't end up mattering that much because I ended up at 4 stacks afterwards anyway, because I was being greedy previously already by sitting on too many stacks. And you can see I get the thing, dodge the small balls, free the mages, throw my shadow crash a bit late again, because once again my timing is not great. Then there's one thing with the knock, you want to make sure you just land naturally with the people, because if you use something like Goblin Jump or Void Elf or Drakthea Wings and land somewhere else, that's where the puddle goes. It just goes wherever it is you happen to land after the knock, no matter if it's the natural landing or you forcing the landing to be somewhere else. And then, as I mentioned, you can see I have all cooldowns ready, ads are spawning. I'm holding my cooldowns even though the boss is very low, which is going to turn out to be a mistake. I should have just sent them when I had them. The ads get freed. Get the Halo and Mindbend out, throw a Shadow Crash. And here I'm kind of panicking that I'm not going to get the full value out of my CDs, so I PI before Void Eruption. Then my potion, whatever. I also Shadow Crash poorly, so there's at least this one Phase Blade that doesn't have dots, and the other one as well, because the Phase Blades are always the last ones in, which is kind of annoying, because they are the ones that are the spookiest. Then I once again make the mistake of a Void Bolt with 4 GCDs between, because I'm not comfortable enough with Archon, and then the boss dies. This one actually dropped something vaguely useful, so that was cool. But yeah, that's basically the fight. Very simple, very easy. Easier than Plexus in basically every way. And yeah, good luck with it. Hopefully I see you in the next video about Lumithar, the moth.